Hey, fellow tennis nerds, the Wilson Shift. The new retail version, not the prototype, they are very, very similar. They've changed the balance just a tad, made it a bit more heavy in the head on the 300 gram, which is called a 99. And then there's the Pro 1820, 315 gram, that's unchanged. They play pretty much exactly the same as the prototype, and that's not even pretty much, it's the same racket. Depends a bit on quality control. I really like them. They're great for spin heavy players. Players who hit flat might struggle a bit with the launch angle because the ball wants to go a bit higher than you'd imagine from these kind of pretty dense string patterns. So 20 process will make a dense string pattern, but with this layup and this design, you will still have good topspin. So very good racket, as I said in the prototype review. Check them out, the link in the description. Let's get into detail now of how these play.
Let's start by looking at the specifications. You have the Shift 99 Pro on the left and the Shift 99 on the right. The Shift 99 is the racket I would recommend for most players. It's a little bit easier to swing and use. The swing weight on the Shift Pro is quite high at 330 plus, and it has an 1820 string pattern. I don't think the string pattern affects the launch angle that much. They're both quite spin friendly for their 20 crosses, but I would say that the 99 is much easier to play with. So when I do these reviews, I try to hand out the rackets to as many players as possible. This is Jade from Italy, a talented junior player, and she really liked the Shift 99. She did not try the heavier one, but this one worked really well for her. She uses the Blade 100 normally, but she felt like this one was very nice in feel and gave her pretty good control and enough power to be dangerous from the ground strokes. So I think most players that I've handed this to really like it, and I would say 80% of them prefer the Shift 99 over the heavier 1820 Shift Pro. But obviously the Shift Pro can work better for flatter hitters, while this one is a little bit more spin friendly. So this is Wilson's new spin line, and that's why it's not really suited for flat hitting players. I think the 1820 pattern of the Pro might confuse some with rackets like the Gravity Pro or other 1820 rackets, but this is a spin-oriented racket. The way it's constructed, it's made for the modern game, made for topspin, so flat hitters I think will struggle a little bit to keep the ball within the lines. The ball might want to sail up a little bit. You can adjust your swing a little bit, and some players might actually want a bit of help with getting the ball over the net consistently, so it might not be a bad idea to try, but it's just good to keep that expectation management that the 1820 Shift Pro is not going to be an ultra control racket. It's a spin and power racket. A young guy like Egor here, for example, he can really swing out and get pretty good control. He tried both the Pro and the Shift 99. Also, like Jade, liked the Shift 99 more. Felt like he could swing a bit faster and still have enough control for his game. This is a young guy, he's only 15 years old, but has great technique, and really enjoy this one. He usually plays with the Blade 98. Personally, I'm also in that camp that prefer the Shift 99. It's a little bit easier to swing. I can maneuver it better, being an older, slower guy than these youngsters that I play with. It's obvious that having a little bit of extra help works for me overall. I tend to like more control-oriented rackets, but with the Shift, you know, it's a little bit weird to have a 315 gram spin racket with an 1820 pattern. That's something doesn't really work for me, but some stronger flat-hitting players like Nicky, Mario, guys that played on the tour before, they have preferred the Shift Pro. So it really is a kind of a more pro-oriented racket, so it does work with the name in that case. But the Shift family overall works on all strokes, great at the net. I really like serving with it as well. You get good power, nothing outrageous, but it's just like a really balanced family of rackets with that extra spin generation added to the package. So you really need to demo this and see if this is something for you. Most players who have tried it with me, they've really liked it, so I definitely think it's worth a demo if this is something you're just curious about. Obviously, it's not going to be a winner for everyone, but I'm keen to hear what you think about this line of rackets in the comments below. Let's now hear what my buddy Miguel thinks about the new Shift rackets.
Fellow tennis nerds, Miguel, you know from previous videos, today we're going to test different Shift rackets. They're not 4 different models, there's not actually 2 different models, but some are prototype, strung with the same string. So I have the 2 prototypes here. The one called Pro, which is the 1820, and the one called MP, which is the 1620, lighter, 300 gram, heavier, and 315 gram.
and he has the retailer versions. You hit like for a few minutes. What do you think about it so far?
Feels nice control, comfortable, good spin, good mix.
But yeah, this is the control one, and this is the more easy forgiving one. And these are very spin-friendly rackets, so they have a way they move through the air, which is very spin-oriented. Miguel started with the lighter Shift 99 300-gram version, and we're playing here at the German Tennis Academy, Hofses, in La Mairena, it's called. It's in the Marbella area. Nice club, very interesting to have green clay courts. That's more common in the US. These courts are great for the views, but they're on high altitude, so the balls really fly, and I very much struggled playing on these after having been in Sweden for a few weeks. But if you want to know more about the clubs, check out previous videos on my channel.
Yeah, 315, 18, 20.
Miguel is an ex-ATP pro. He's been in a few of my previous videos. Really nice guy, good coach. He is actually ranked in top 50 on the ITF Seniors, or now it's called Masters Tour. So he's a strong player. He uses the Technifiber RST Fight 315 at the moment with some slight customization, and strings them with MSV strings. He's deciding on what string to use from MSV.
I think I prefer the 1620. Nice to hit flat. 1820, of course. 1620, more spin.
So like Miguel alluded to there, and what I've been saying a few times in this video, the 1820 pattern of the heavier pro does lend itself a bit better to flatter shots, but it still does not mean that it's an ultra control racket. It's still a spin and power racket. So how much spin and power do the Shift rackets have? Not quite on the Aero level, I would say, but similar, not too far away either, you know. So they do generate quite a bit of spin. It feels like this is Wilson's spin line now that the burn is not so popular, and I feel like the power level is definitely good enough to compete with rackets of similar nature, meaning Aero, Extreme, Dunlop, SX. So this is the spin line of Wilson. I think you might be a bit fooled by the 20 crosses, you know, the 1620 on the 99 and the 1820 on the Pro. I feel like this is definitely more about power and spin than about any type of control. And I think this has been the main complaint. If there's been a complaint, that's been that the control sometimes is a little bit lacking. It's definitely a racket that requires you to hit with a good amount of topspin. But I think the winning factor of the Shift rackets, which make them popular and which have lent itself to very positive responses from the people who have tested this with me, both the prototypes and this more retail editions. And that's the feeling is very nice. Like, people really like the sensation when striking the ball, and that's players on all levels seem to agree on that. So I would say that there's many benefits of these rackets, great things for a new racket line, and many things to like. The control sometimes can be a little bit difficult to rein in exactly how much depth you get on the shots. So that would be the pet peeve. But overall, these are very good rackets, and there's a lot to like about them. Okay, Miguel, so we played with the prototypes and we played with the new ones. But what did you think was your first experience with Shift in general? Let me ask you about that. How was the Shift overall?
Yeah, I liked it quite a lot. It felt easy to play with. Nice and comfortable, soft touch, still very firm. You know, this blend between firmness and comfort was pretty nice. The access to spin, especially on the 1620, was very easy, like heavy spin. A bit, maybe if you hit flats, would be this one, the 1820, of course, a bit more plow through. Easier to hit flat shots and a bit heavier. I really don't know which one is the best. It depends on your style. If you hit more flat, I would go for this one, the 1820. If you hit like more spinny, or if you play like high spin, and that's your way to control the ball, play with the 1620. But both very nice rackets. Depends also on the strings, but this combination felt pretty nice. And comparing to the prototypes, I actually didn't feel that much of a difference.
Thanks, Miguel. It was a good hit. Tough to play on high altitude, but always fun.
Of course. See you soon, man.